welcome back to AWPOV. Today I'm going to show you some easy bike tricks that I know how to do. And I don't know how to do that many, but I'm going to show you what I know. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so the easiest trick, now this won't work on a BMX bike unless you have front brakes. You have to have front brakes for this. Basically just ride, not with too much speed, just a little bit of speed, and pull your front brake, bring your back tire off the ground. And so I'm going to do it real quick. Yep, that's the easy one. The next really easy one is skidding out, or I think that's what it's called, skidding out. And all you gotta do is just get some speed and pull your back brake and just shred your expensive tires to pieces. And that's a good way to show that you are a respectable person and that you have a lot of money, because you can just shred tires to pieces. All right, starting to get some drag slicks there. All right, so another easy one is riding with no hands. Now, what I like to tell people is that your bike, it wants to go. It has a mind of its own, and if you let it go, if you give it the reins, it's gonna go, and it's gonna run away from you. So all you gotta do is just sit back on your seat. If you sit back on your seat, it's gonna give you a lot more balance, and just let the rein go. And the faster you go, the easier it is. If you're trying to go slow, you're probably gonna fall over because you don't have much inertia carrying you forward. So I'm just gonna show you basically what riding with no hands looks like. Just turn the camera around over there, see what we can do. You're gonna lean back, get some good speed up. All right, let's turn the camera back around. So, riding with no hands, very useful thing. If you want to see a more detailed video, you can go look at Berm Peak has a video, an old video of how to ride with no hands. He never really gets to the point or ever tells you how to do it. He just says what it's good for, which is kind of interesting. So anyways, so the next trick is kind of interesting. You can't hurt yourself on this one. And basically, you just jump off your cranks. Just try to hop off your cranks. And the higher you go, the cooler it is. So I'm gonna go above my seat and see if I don't get hurt. Kind of interesting, kind of looks weird. All right, so another easy one is riding with your legs up on the handlebars. Now this could get you a lot of trouble if you were not in the right circumstances. You came up to like a stop sign or something, and you know, you might fall over and hurt yourself. So you probably want to try this in like a rural area where there's nobody driving a monster truck that wants to run you over. So yeah, it's like the couch. All right, so if you got bored of those and you're like, yeah, I already know how to do all that. Here's some harder ones. All right, so I'm not sure exactly what they call this trick, but basically what you do is you just do a stoppie and you swing your back tire over. And then if you really want to take it far, once you swing your back tire over, you ride out of it, which is, I'm not totally good at yet, but I'll show you what I can do. Pull your front brake, bring it over. So first step is to get into a stoppie position. And if you go high enough, you're gonna notice that your bike actually wants to go over to one side. But that was not right. So yeah. All right. So another hard one, they call this fakie, and basically stoppie again, but then you ride backwards. And there's a really clean way to do this, and that's just by steering. And I can't do it, but I can hop over and steer myself by hopping back tire. And that's the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. But if you can do the other way, great. This looks kind of messy, but I'll show you what I can do. I already took another clip of that, so I don't have to do it right now. Okay, so if you're still here, you want something harder, a pretty hard one is a wheelie. Now wheeling, that's pretty hard. It took me a while to even get 10 feet. And now I'm okay, but it's not consistent. So basically what you do when you wheelie is you gotta keep your arms all the way out. You have to keep your arms out. If you don't keep your arms out, you're gonna end up hugging the bike really close. And it's kind of be like a stick going down the road. You know, it's so easy to push over. But if you're more out like this, it's kind of like when you're walking, when people walk on tight ropes, they hold a pull and it kind of gives them the balance. If they were just with nothing, it's easy for them to fall off, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't make sense. Anyways, so yeah, let me show you what I got. Well, one more thing I forgot to say. If you're wheeling and you start falling back, just tap your back brake. And that's just gonna slam your front end back down, as you saw me do just when I was wheeling by. Yep. All right, so if you're still here and you want even a harder one, this is one that's not as hard as wheeling, but it's scary. It's much more scary. And basically, you're riding backwards, but not riding backwards. Your bike's going forwards, you're going backwards. And you can pedal, and you just ride, and it's kind of hard. Make sure you don't get the front brake mixed up with the back brake. Bunny hopping. That's not super hard, but I already did a video on this that was more detailed. I'm just gonna go over real quick. Basically, there's two styles of bunny hopping. And one's English and one's something else, and I don't know which one's which. But bunny hop, you can either preload your suspension and come up, or you can just preload the front first and then rotate once you're in the air. And if you have a rigid bike that has no suspension on it, what I mean by suspension is your arms and your legs have about 400 millimeters of travel, depending on how big you are, of course. But they have about 400 millimeters of travel, which is twice as much as any downhill bike. So you have a lot of suspension in your body. And if you didn't have that suspension, even with this suspension, if you went off a jump stiff or a bunny hop, you would probably break some bones. So you can use the suspension in your legs and arms. And so to prove that, I'm going to lock my fork out and turn my rear shock to firm. So now my bike has no forks and the back shock is very firm, so it doesn't really bounce at all. And so now I'm gonna try to bunny hop. Now yes, it is harder to bunny hop, but it's still possible. So basically just preload your arms and legs and you can still bunny hop. Just squat all the way down and then spring up and pull your bike up. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed those bike tricks, and we'll see you in the next video.